Hello everybody, welcome to Gomezonwheels. Today, I'm so privileged to sit with the Lord Mayor of Stoke-on-Trent Council. Well, let's hear from the Mayor itself what he has to tell about the city, its histories and culture. Hello Mayor, how are you doing?
Nice meeting you both. Thank you.
Great.
Stoke-on-Trent is a polycentric city, and it's a huge history behind Stoke-on-Trent. It's formed usually by the federation of six towns in 1910,
Alright.
and it took its name from Stoke-upon-Trent, which is one of the six towns at the time. Stoke-upon-Trent is the main part of where you are now. It's where the government and the city council sits in, and we have the principal railway station of Stoke-on-Trent as well there. Hanley is our primary commercial centre, and we have other towns of Burslem, Tunstall, Fenton, and Longton.
When I did a small research,
Yeah.
I figured out because Hanley, back in the days, was very famous for its pottery industry,
Of course,
steel
yeah.
industries,
Yeah.
and she got the pottery museums over there.
Yeah.
And I did see the statues of original Joseph Mitchell, the aircraft engineers,
True.
Arnold Bennett, and everybody sitting
Yeah.
there. So that was something that was very inspiring for me. And when I did a further research about the birthplace of Stanley Matthews,
Yeah.
it took me to St. Maura Street 69.
Oh yeah. That's,
And
you did your research,
well, I like history, and I was just doing a small research about the city before.
Stoke-on-Trent is well known for its pottery industries. Starting with Royal Dalton, we have Wedgwood and Spode, and now you should go to the museums as well. And a huge history in the back, and the Minton tiles. You will see Minton tiles, the historical tiles. In not just in Stoke-on-Trent, it was distributed across the world, and still you will find Minton tiles in number of historical places in America and other countries as well. So there's a huge history there. And the other industry that's famous for Stoke-on-Trent is the potteries industry.
Okay.
And we had a number of mines at the time. If you have time, you should go to Chatley Whitfield. There's a mining. It used to be a mining museum. It's in a derelict position now, but it has again a huge history.
Also, when I did a small study, I heard about the Scenery Coated mine, which
Yeah.
had an explosion in 1945, if I'm not wrong.
That's exactly that time, 1940s, isn't it? Yeah.
So somewhere like we lost, and I saw the
Unfortunately.
memorials of the
There's a
people
memorial.
written there in Jerusalem also.
That's right.
So back in the days, if you understand, Stoke-on-Trent's economy was run by pottery industry, mining and coal and steel.
Yeah.
So what are the primary economy of Stoke-on-Trent right now?
Currently, those days are gone for coal mining and everything. Currently, it's a supply industries. If you just travel near the stadium, Bet365 Stadium, you'll see number of shop, things like we have Amazon there, big delivery supplies, and also we have JCB in the other side of the city, which provides equipment across the world, And so mostly it's a supplies kind of thing, and mostly services like Bet365. Bet365 is also has a football club, but they're well known for
Britannia Stadium, the former Britannia
yeah.
Stadium.
People like Peter Coates and his daughter run Bet365, which employs a number of people locally. And we still have Churchill, which is produces china plates and porcelain industry that has a number of people working in there. That's based in north of Stoke as well. So there's still a lot of industries there, and we're looking forward to encourage people to come more and more
For the investment.
Yeah.
That's one thing. This is something because in my life I got an opportunity to travel to different countries and meet different people. So when I first went to Dubai, there was hardly 600,000 people. But today we've got 3.5 million people living there. So the evolution was always the foreign investments in that city. The city grew up with the foreign investments. So how do you forecast Stoke into a foreign investment city? Like if somebody, maybe you don't know, somebody who sees this one will be looking at Stoke. So what do you think like the potential aspects of Stoke-on-Trent for a foreign investment?
So we have great plans for a local plan, it's called, to make Stoke-on-Trent city's most thriving city for investors to come and invest. If you just go to the Hanley, our commercial city centre, you'll see that new buildings have sprung up in the last 2-3 years. We have a big Hilton hotel, and we have two big office Smithfields called 1 and 2. And these are office spaces and everything. And we're also planning for an arena
Oh, yeah.
And this arena will have
The Grand Arena.
Grand Arena,
Okay.
and the arena plans hopefully will be finished in the next 4 or 5 years, and that's coming up very well. The whole commercial city center of Hanley will be lighted up, and we have a picture actually. I will show you later, but it is coming up so well, and so we are investing so much in that area so that the investor can see the potential of the city, and we will be also investing not just in the city center alone, but across, and to bring any development. If somebody has a good idea from Dubai saying that we want to bring this industry here, we actually will support them like anything.
The reason why I asked you was a lot because I was basically it was a family business, and we were based in the tourism industry. So we have seen the boom in Dubai with tourism, and when I first touched my feet in Stoke-on-Trent, I saw a rich history in this land, and which is very hardly to find in many countries. Obviously, okay, in India it's got a lot of history. Many countries have a lot of history, but the history, I mean, Britain ruled the world at one point of time, you know. So this history, the Commonwealth countries, the multicultural and everything. Every single place has got a story to tell. Like how you mentioned earlier, Sir Royal Dalton, he founded the firms for the Daltons and everything, and it was carried forward. Wedgwood, he started the Wedgwood industry. So if you just focus on these things, and it will be, I mean, I personally got people asking me, how do you find these information? So I was just interested, and I just kept on digging with, and it's just people speaking, people like Dave, he just shared a few informations, and it was interesting for me.
No, absolutely. No. Thanks for raising this awareness. You know, there's huge potential there. It's not tapped yet properly, and I can imagine people from, for example, Dubai or Indian subcontinent coming here as a trip. Going to Wedgwood and Royal Dalton, Sport, and looking at the museum, buying those things, and going to Churchill to buy the porcelain and all the things, you know. So there's so much actually they love. I can see that people from India have so much interest, you know, for example, to buying the pottery industry, you know. And so there's so much potential there for them to come around and do the trips and come to the King's Hall. And people can actually have a huge conferences. It has a seating arrangements for 500 to 600 people.
I saw that last week.
And it's a beautiful hall with a huge history. And I want people to come and see the hall. And not only that, we have another hall as well. So there are different halls there. You can have a proper conference here. I want bigger organizations to come and have a conference here, see the difference. And the most important thing is that the people are here are very nice.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you. I just give an example over here because I told you last time, I never thought I'd be sitting with you all today because my aim was just to shoot the King's Hall. But touch wood, I was so lucky that I got an opportunity to sit with you, and I haven't got this kind of warm welcome in many countries where I've visited.
And that's what if you can bring some travelers as well, they'll get the same warmth, and the food is brilliant here, you know. And we are famous for oat cakes, you know. Of course,
we actually visited a traditional oat cakes, and I actually had a conversation with a person who ran this as a family business for nearly 100 years. So he was telling me the stories behind how that came up, and I was telling, if you go to Malaysia or if you go to India, there's something similar like this, but they call it a different name.
I know it's not our dosa, but it's definitely more healthy and nutritious. This one, no oil in that, and it's perfect, you know. And the oat cakes can be mixed with anything, and you can eat very nicely. And I've become a big fan of oat cakes. I actually left dosa for oat cakes. You know? It's really good. And I came here 19 years ago. I always call this as a cul-de-sac. It's Stoke-on-Trent.
Why do you call it?
Because once you come here, you don't want to go back, you know. And the reason is the people are so warm. I thought I'll just have a stopgap here and move to London to work as a doctor. But when I came here after that, you know, the people of Golden and Sandyford, where I work as a GP, they show me so much affection. They treat me like an extra member of the family. So I thought I'm not going anywhere, and I stayed back. Not only that, they elected me as a councillor, and I was able to achieve this honor of being the first citizen of the city because of the affection and the people here. So I became a part of the Stoke-on-Trent family, and I'm not going anywhere. The reason is, and that's what the warmth and affection I want to show to other people. And I will look forward if you can bring some trips to people.
Yeah, definitely. That's in my plan. If touchwood, if everything goes good, I would love to be a guide of England, and I wanted to do the blue badge thing. So I've just spent like 1.5 years studying about the history and rich culture. So my journey is actually a foundation for to learn history of England. England's history is not that easy to learn because it dates back to 84-95. When I did a study of Stoke, the Stoke ministers over here started in 84-95 when the settlement started over here. And the people started living around the town, later called the Stoke ministers.
That's right.
Then the Pottery town were independent. The Newcastle and the Lim didn't join because they didn't vote.
No, they don't want to.
So like this, I mean, it's immense. Each borough, each council I go, there's a lot of history behind that.
Huge history.
To study all these things, I need time. So that's my ultimate aim. I want to be a blue badge guide of England, and I want to be an international guide, pulling up the history of not only history because one thing why I started doing these videos is because when I said, okay, I'm going to go and live in England for some time, people said, oh, you're going to move to London? I said, no, I'm not going
London
to
is not the only part of England.
So I want the people to know England is not just London. There are so many other cities and countrysides and boroughs in England. So that's when I started doing this video. So people said, I've never heard about it. This is it. And you've got a lot of history and culture behind these places too.
No, thank you so much for doing that. And we look forward to support you any way possible.
Wow, man, that's been an absolute privilege.
And I'll be privileged to speak to your travelers as well, so they can understand there's so much history is there, and I hope actually can bring more and more people to visit our place.
That's great. So, like as I said, what we have done, in Dubai, we have actually emailed to Mrs. Hilton, like about all our achievements in the city of Dubai. We look forward to do that also over here in England, with Stoke, with in Manchester, with anywhere. We like to promote. So my plan, if I get to do it, is like a week for England. We start from south till north. We travel through different boroughs. We travel through different histories because each town has got a story to tell.
But don't forget Stoke-on-Trent, the most happening city of the world. I say that.
This is where I started, man. This is where I started because this is the first town I started living in England. So this definitely has got a place for me in my heart.
Thank you. That's really good.
So, you've got anything else to say to our viewers?
No, I think the most important thing is that London is not just England. We have so many places to visit in England, and please come and visit Stoke-on-Trent, the most vibrant city, and you'll get the warmth and affection of the residents here, which you may not see anywhere in the world. And you would get to see a number of things, the pottery industries, and the museums here, and the culture and tradition of the people, and most important, the oat cakes of Stoke-on-Trent.
You have to taste the oat cakes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And it was a pleasure meeting you, and it's an absolute privilege for us.
Thank you. No problem at all. Anytime.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for staying tuned in. Bye-bye.